We've been waiting and waiting, and we may finally have a deal. CBS and Viacom reportedly have agreed to an exchange ratio of 0.59625 in an all-stock merger. Joining us now from London with more is Nabila Ahmed. She is Bloomberg Deals reporter. So, Nabila, we have been waiting a good long time. What does this exchange ratio tell us? Because I know there was some tussling back and forth. We were talking some months ago about a higher rate than this.
David, this ratio basically values Viacom at around current market rates. So Viacom shareholders not really getting much of a premium at all. Last year they did agree on a higher ratio, but that was based on management teams. Then a few things have changed since then. Viacom will argue that they've actually got stronger since then. You know, CBS obviously losing its CEO since then, Leslie Moonves, to a slew of sexual harassment allegations as well.
Nabila, walk me through what both CBS and Viacom get from this merger.
So basically the big thing they get, Taylor, is scale, and that's the big buzzword in media these days, especially when they're trying to compete against the Netflixes of this world. You know, Netflix this year is spending more than $13 billion in its programming, in exclusive programming. It's very difficult to compete with players like that. So CBS and Viacom will be combining Paramount Studios, Nickelodeon, CBS All Access, CBS Networks, which is the #1 most watched TV network in America.
Yeah, it is the #1 watch network in America. At the same time, Paramount Studios has been having a really tough time, as you know, and even Nickelodeon has really been struggling a bit as well. Does it compare with the Disneys of this world?
Well, that's the big hope, David, is that this gives these companies a chance to be able to compete of the Disneys of the world. And, you know, obviously Viacom has struggled, as you say, but under Bob Bakish, Paramount has had a few hits, and they're also working on movies for some of these streaming services as well. So they've been making movies for Netflix, they've been making content for Facebook as well, and they've been ramping that up, which gives them another avenue to generate revenues. And also the scale allows these companies to compete better and negotiate better when they're talking to distributors, for example, or advertisers.
Nabila, you've been covering the deals market long enough to know that a merger doesn't exist. There's always someone in charge and someone who is not in charge. With this, quote, merger, who's actually in charge?
Taylor, the different thing about these two companies is they're controlled by the same owner. So that's Shari Redstone's company, National Amusements. The Redstone family has been in charge of these two companies for ages. So it's a little bit different from that aspect. The Viacom CEO, Bob Bakish, will become the new CEO, the CEO of the new combined company, and Shari Redstone will take the chairman's position. So for her, it's a really big coup that's been, you know, she's been wanting to do this. Her family's been wanting to do this for a number of years, since they separated these two companies back in 2006.